my dad is in hospice care. And so I think this year in particular, as I put the ornaments on the tree, the ones from my childhood just meant a little bit more to me. I remembered when I made that one, and I remember that one being on the tree every year, and because I just have a few, but I have a couple from growing up. And I got to thinking about good memories from my childhood, and I remember one year my family declared war on a widow in our congregation. Or maybe it should be that the widow declared war on us? I don't know. There was a war to be had. So, I'm going to tell you about that. When I turned 12 and was I just kind of only been in the youth program for a few months, and kind of got to Christmas time, and they picked a group of widows from our ward, and they decided that the youth in our ward were going to do little 12 days of Christmas for the widows. And so they assigned out names, or we got to choose, and they wanted us to do it secretly. We're trying to leave our little gift and run kind of thing. And I don't know if it was because I was new and I was feeling shy and so I didn't speak up, or if it was because I was new and I was feeling shy and I decided to act up. I really don't know what was going through my head, but I ended up with the name that nobody else wanted. They were all like, "She's mean and grouchy," and I just so it's not like I have to stay and talk to her. We're drop the gift on the doorstep, knock and run. So I don't know, but I ended up with this name, and my mom decided that we should do this as a family. And I was all fabulous. I love that plan. It sounded a little intimidating to me otherwise, but having my brothers there by my side while we're running up to the door, leaving little gifts, knocking and running, oh yeah, I'm all for that. I'm game for that. So we decided to do it as a family, and the first few nights was no problem. We went in groups of 2, and we would go up to the door and we'd leave our little gift and we'd knock and we'd run. And the hardest part about it was that she had a chain link fence around her yard. And so you had to come in the gate at the front and walk down the front sidewalk to her door. So when you knocked, you couldn't just take off to the side into the bushes or something like that, or around the corner of the house. Nope. You had to run all the way back down the sidewalk and then take off. And there wasn't a lot of places, she lived on a corner, and there weren't a ton of places right there. The chain link fence didn't have bushes around it or anything like that. It was pretty open. So the fact that we were getting away, we felt pretty good about ourselves. We were the Bowers secret agents. Come about night 5 or so, then the porch light was on, and we were a little bit more concerned because previously the porch light hadn't been on every night, and so we were pretty nervous that night, but it went pretty good. And then the next night, the porch light was on, and the light right inside the room, the front room, that light was on too. And somebody said that they saw her peeking out the window, and I'm pretty sure that she was. She was like, "I'm on to your niceness. I am about to catch you in the act. No more niceness. in my house, or in my neighborhood, or in my yard, or wherever. No more niceness. I'm pretty sure she was the Grinch. But whether she was the Grinch or Santa, we were not going to be caught. We did pretty good until night 10. And on night 10, Michael and Drew, I think, delivered. I don't know. Michael was in charge of delivering the gift. I'm not sure who went with him, but he was in charge, and we had no doubt he would make it just fine because he was the oldest and he had plenty of practice running around with his friends at night. We'll just go with that. On the second to the last night, so that would be what, the 11th night of 12 Days of Christmas, because I can add. I guess that's subtract. I can do that too, obviously. I can't tell the difference between add and subtract, but I can do both. As we were driving by the joint to scoop, kind of scoop out the joint. Scoop, is that right? Is that to scoop out the joint? Do you scoop out a joint or do you scope? I'm pretty sure I meant scope. So as we were driving by to scope out the joint, we were like 2 blocks away and we see this like bright light and we think, well, somebody put up some Christmas lights or something because it was Christmas time. And no, nobody put up Christmas lights. Every light in her house and outside of her house was on. Like, boom, bright. We were super nervous. And so my brother Matthew and I, we were in charge of delivering the gift that night. Of course, everybody had advice for us. My dad was like, we're gonna drop you off around the block and then you can cut between the houses. Drew was all, stay in the shadows and be really quiet. My brother Michael, he was all like, once you're making your final approach, don't stop for anything, just run. She won't know what hit her. And of course, like one of my little brothers, he's all like, is somebody gonna hit her? And my mom's all like, nobody's going to hit anybody. We don't hit in this family. So Matt and I get ready, and Matt, he dons this hoodie, a black hoodie, and this was like back in the olden days when they had drawstrings that you could like pull the front of the hoodie part down to this like little tiny circle that you could like barely see out of. And there was, makes you practically unrecognizable. And he was a ninja. Truly, he was a ninja. I'm pretty sure anybody that has to run around delivering Christmas gifts on the sly when they're about 12 or 13 or even 10 or 14, I don't know, in that age range, they're ninjas. Deep in their heart, they are ninjas. I was a ninja. I didn't have that, but I put on a ski mask. I was like, oh yeah. I could barely see because the ski mask holes were all messed up and like they pulled down so that like my eyes were like, I can tell what's going on. Okay. Matthew and I were doing pretty good until somebody decided to let the dogs out. And this was not like some fancy cool song. This was like the dogs got let out, they're barking, and it scared me. Oh, it scared me. Like, I almost peed my pants. It scared me. I was like, I can't run. It was so bad. Because if I ran, which is what I really wanted to do, I am positive I would have peed my pants. But the only thing I could do was just stand there. And Matt was like, don't worry about it. I got this. And he took the gift, zoomed up there, dropped it off. It's gone, just like that. Just like I said, he's a ninja. And we made it back to the car and everything was fine. And we were like, oh yeah, we did it. We get to the 12th night. And on that night, Michael, Matthew, and Drew were in charge of delivering the gift. Now, Drew was a little bit younger than the rest of us, and a whole 2 years younger than the rest of us, but 2 years is a lot. Especially when you're like 12 and they're 10. It's a lot. Okay. But he got scared. And they were kind of hiding out. And they could see the old lady kind of peeking out the curtain occasionally. And so Matthew looks at Michael and he's like, I got this. Take Drew, meet me at the van. And he's off like a flash. Now, the van was parked about a half block down the road, and we were kind of tucked behind a bush a little bit. And so we're all like peeking out the windows of the van trying to see what's going on. And so we see Michael and Drew sneaking off. We see Matthew heading towards the door, and he's at the front of the chain link fence, and he gets just inside the fence and he shuts the gate behind himself, super quiet. And she comes out of the house. Like, seriously, we're on our very last night. I'm saying this so excitedly that like I'm shaking the camera. See, got it going on. Okay, we were on the very last night and we were caught. Of course, like everybody in the van is like all, oh, and there was no air left and we almost suffocated because we all sucked in so much air at the same time because we saw this weird, oh my goodness, this cannot be happening to us. We were so close, so close. But as you'll remember, Matthew had this hoodie that he would pull on, and he had it all cinched down so that only his eyes were, showing, and couldn't even tell who he was. And so he just runs up to the lady, drops the gift into her hand, and he's like, Merry Christmas, and he takes off out of there, vaults over the fence, and he's like running down the street, and he hops in the van, and we're spitting gravel as we pull out of there. We did it, and we were quite happy. Oh, we did it, we did it. Oh. Okay, yeah, we were very excited. We were very, very excited. Victory was ours. Yeah, and so that mean old Grinch, who thought she could stop us from delivering our niceness, was, yeah. We won. We totally won. We thought we won. Yeah. The old lady thought she figured out who it was through some like asking around and things like that. She tried to figure out. She thought she had us figured out. She called my mom and she's all like, was it you that dropped off those gifts? And my mom, I don't know what you're talking about. If we had just left it there, we might have made it out okay, but no. Come Valentine's Day, we decided we're going to drop off something for her again. And we figured this is gonna be a piece of cake because she won't be expecting us since, it's not like we had been dropping things off regularly or anything, and so we thought this will be easy. So I decided I'm doing a solo mission. Oh yeah. So I have my little plate of cookies and I'm sneaking up to the house, and just before I get to the gate, this like boom, a spotlight, like right on me, and I wasn't sure if like I was gonna be abducted by aliens or what had happened exactly, because like truly, whoosh, spotlight on me, not around me. And I realized that there was a cop car on the other side of the street and he had flipped on this spotlight on me. And I was just petrified. I was sure that I was gonna go to jail. Like, I just knew I was. And I'm sitting there this whole time. This cop gets out of the car and he like nonchalantly kind of walks over there to towards where I'm at. And while he's doing that, of course, like the whole time my mind is like, oh, I just don't like this lady. She is so mean. Like, I was pretty sure that she had been planning this attack this whole time. She was like hired somebody from the police station to sit outside her house every night, so that just in case somebody came back to deliver some goodies, that they'd get caught. That was what I was thinking. That was like totally going through my mind while this police officer's walking over there, and he says, "What do you think you're doing?" And I couldn't even talk. Like, I'm just like mumbling things. I'm like, cookies, and like, and I'm like gesturing to the door, and I'm like, door knock, and I could feel the tears coming. Like, I was all I could do to keep the tears from, And he laughed. Like, seriously, that police officer had the nerve to laugh at me? Oh. And he's like, "Carry on." Just turned around, walked away, just like that. And I was like, what in the world? And as he walked away, I realized that old lady had won. Because as that police officer walked away, I realized I had peed my pants. I had been so scared. I peed my pants. I delivered the cookies, and I made it back to the van. And thankfully, my mom would not let my brothers tease me about peeing my pants. For the next couple of weeks, I hung out with my mom a lot, so that I did not have to listen to my brothers tease me about peeing my pants. We found out she wasn't even home. She was on vacation. And her son, who was a police officer, she had asked him to keep a watch on her house. So he happened to be sitting out there on the other side of the street when we were sneaking up, when I was sneaking up with the cookies. It wasn't like a conspiracy, but the story would sound better if it was a conspiracy. So I think it's a conspiracy. I think it was. In case you're wondering, we got that old lady really good for that trick. The next time we dropped off a plate of cookies, it was so big, she could not possibly eat it all herself. She was going to have to share with her neighbors, and that would entirely ruin her old lady, her mean old lady, I should say, her mean old lady image. That's what you get for making me pee my pants. Too many cookies. I'm glad that I can look back on it and laugh now. It was not funny at the time, but those kinds of fun things are the fun things that happened frequently growing up. My dad was really good about making sure that we did things that created good, positive memories. And so the moral of the story is, it's better to be abducted by aliens than it is to be spotlighted by the police. Because at least if you're abducted by aliens, like the ray that they shine down on you, like immobilizes all of your muscles and you can't pee your pants because your muscles are all immobilized. Or it could be make sure that you go to the potty before you go out being a ninja. Or it could be find time to serve others this season. Because even if it doesn't turn out the best, it'll create positive memories. Seems like a good one. Thanks, friend, for stopping by. It was super fun to chat with you. Tell me in the comments about some of your funny Christmas experiences. I'd really love to hear about them. And enjoy your Christmas season. See ya!